Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. We are now in the afternoon on Sunday. We're beginning 28th of November 2021. So it's card for this week that I'm pulling at the moment. Um, Not put many videos out just lately because I've had a lot of astrology orders to get through a Christmas rush, which is quite nice. It's business, so it's very nice. So this is slightly light, so I'm just shuffling the cards up now. Okay, so card for week beginning 28th of November 2021. Okay, what we got? Eight of Swords. Oh, this one's come out a few times, hasn't it? And if you remember, if you've seen them in the past, the Eight of Swords is mainly self-inflicted. It is choices that people make and things they do themselves, their own fears, their own offensive swords being put around themselves. Just trying to get this stable. Okay, well, as long as you can see the card, yeah, it's okay, isn't it? Okay, so what I reckon for this week is that we're going to have a lot of people who have supposedly made decisions for themselves, but actually have been coerced, manipulated, threatened, blackmailed. I reckon this is all to do with the so-called jabs that people have been having, where people have or are saying they've made their own decisions when they haven't. I mean, let's face it, if you're going to make your own decision, you have the good points, you have the bad points, and you're able to sit down yourself on your own and look at each side of the coin and make up your own mind. And unfortunately, people have only been given one side and not both. So, therefore, you have not made your own choices. You've only had half of the information. You can't possibly make what's the words? Can't possibly make an informed choice when you only have half of the information. And so I reckon this is going to be coming out this week. People are going to be looking at this and saying, well, I thought I'd been given the information. I thought I'd done the right thing. I thought I was going on information that I'd been given, which I felt was true. Okay, so I'm not going to say any more of that because that's an individual thing. It's people make their own mind up, and you make your choices. We've all been there, haven't we? We've made a choice that we think, oh yeah, that was a good choice. I'm sticking by it, and then another time we'll think, well, that was a choice that maybe I would not make if I had other information. So each individual to their own with that one. But I reckon there's going to be some news about the jabs coming out this week. What else am I seeing in that card? Something about the NHS as well. Just seeing the swords there, the people suffering and in some cases dying, that maybe again was where people, their families have not been told the truth, things being hidden. That's why she's wearing a blindfold, things that they don't want you to see. If she removed the blindfold, she'd see all those gaps in those swords. She'd also be able to take the swords up and fight with them if there was somebody keeping her prisoner. All the weapons are there at her disposal. It's just that she's not seeing them. Yeah, but again, there's also that normal reading of this card, and that is the fact that we tie ourselves up in knots. Our own fears and anxieties can actually blind us and not allow us to see the truth or to see the reality of a situation. So I would say to all of you, if you're getting worried about things, just sit down, calm down, just put it to the back of your mind and stop worrying, and answers come to you. Things that you'll see things a bit more clearer. Alright, so I'm just going to pick another card as well then. And that's a nice one to have following it to start with. Oh dear, why does that always happen? Okay, better. Okay, so we got the star as well. Now the star's always hopes and dreams coming true. So whatever it is in that first card that's coming out this week, there's a positive lining to it. And that woman in this star card, she's pouring water into the river of life and also on the land for vegetation to grow. So this is something that is going to lead to growth and progression. Something that maybe we're not going to like hearing, or some people won't like hearing. Something that is going to cause a lot of problems when the blindfold is taken off. But if you look at her, as soon as that blindfold is taken off, she's going to want to pick up one of them swords. And even the rope there, it's hanging down, so it's quite loose. She can easily throw it off. And she's got all those weapons at her disposal, as I said before. But the star card is hopes and dreams, so things that we want, beneficial things that we want to happen. As long as we keep it in our own mind, there's a thing called manifestation, law of attraction. You may have heard this before many times, but you hold what you want to see, what you want to achieve in your mind, and then work towards it. Instead of keeping fears and anxieties in your mind, keep your hopes and your dreams in your mind. And if I pull out a third card there, Temperance. So this is 3 cards for this next week. Temperance is coming together. This is the good and the bad, black and white, right and wrong, all the opposites coming together to work together. You've got the rainbow there, things are looking better in the future. And what I'm seeing with that one is people working together. There's been so many marches and protests and things about different things all over the world recently that you may have heard of. But this is where people are standing together, and I think there's going to be a lot more people joining in these marches, especially where the jabs are concerned. Are we going to be hearing the end of them pouring away? Possibly. That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Yeah, the pouring away of the liquid. I'm not going to call it the V word because it certainly isn't. And if any of you watching this don't know what's in it, I would suggest you go and look it up, the ingredients, because it's not so good, and you'll know why I don't call it the V word. A bit of a mixture going on there, crazy mixture. But as well, in the Temperance card, look at all that liquid behind her. Are we coming to the end? That's an interesting one. Yeah, maybe we're going to hear something about that, something about the end of the jabs. Putting it to one side, the truth coming out, and it all finishing. I don't think it's going to finish just yet. I think they're going to still keep pushing their agenda. But I think we may be hearing a few things heading that way this week. Okay, so click like, click subscribe, and I'll catch you next week. As I say, there's not many videos out at the moment that I'm doing because I've got a lot of orders on, but I will see if I can catch up a little bit this week coming once I've finished everything else that I've got to do. Okay, but I'll catch you next week anyway. So have a good week, everyone, and yeah, watch that news. You have to tell me what happens because I don't watch the news, I don't read newspapers, and I don't listen to the radio. I normally wait for other people to tell me what's going on during the week. Work colleagues and friends, family, people like that. So there you go. Okay, I'll catch you next week. Bye.